Welcome to Inside Business. My name is Terry Guerin. I'm your host for today, and my guest is Ms. Joaneane Smith with Global Commerce and Services. Thanks for coming on the show, Joaneane.
Thanks for having me.
You are a woman-owned business, and you're doing business with the federal government. You know, folks, the reason that we've got Joaneane here is because I want to encourage women, focus on women today, because we want women to get out there and go after some contracts like Joaneane has, without the fear of failure. She stepped out on faith and went into business for herself, and a successful business that is. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can do the same thing if you are prepared to go into business. What does it take to become prepared, Joaneane?
You have to stay focused.
Okay.
The first thing I say is stay focused. Don't let anybody change your mind. Put yourself, make sure you're around people with the same mindset as you.
Okay, so you put yourself in front of business people.
That's right.
Because they said people that like people gravitate together.
That's right.
Is that what you're saying?
That's
right.
So,
what made you decide to go into business? And by the way, this is an IT business, correct?
That's right. Information technology.
Okay. Why that? Why that business? Why not widgets and, providing widgets or rebar or gloves? Why IT? That's your background?
That's my background.
Okay.
I graduated from LSU in '97, and I was an employee in the IT industry for years. So I decided to put that industry under my company.
Okay. Smart move. And you know what? I worked at Louisiana Land Exploration for 10 years in IT. And before that, it was at a bank. I just got burned out on it. And I decided to do my own business after that. And I, of course, had contracts. But then I decided to go back into working for somebody else after being in business for a while. How do you make the decision to keep doing this? Because you could easily say, look, you know what? I'm bailing on this. I'm going back and work for somebody else and just get a paycheck and go home. Why I'm going to do this myself?
Well, the thing is, I really wanted to create jobs for young people, the newly graduates of colleges, as well as high school students.
Okay, and you're doing that?
Yes.
Now, you have a contract with the federal government right now, working out of USDA.
USDA, that's some past work I've had. Currently, I'm working at the Blue Cross Blue Shield. I have a contract there, as well as the Army Corps of Engineers. We're providing network support, installation, and maintenance. You know, I often hear people say that, I don't do business with the federal government. I can't do business with the city. They're not paying me right. Nobody that's, African American can get in that's just starting. How do you change that? You just have to stay positive. I mean, if you're determined, you have to be determined. So you just stick to what you want to do and what you believe, and never quit. Because once you quit, you'll never get there. So you just have to keep pushing forward. And when you decided to do work with the government, how did you A, find out about that, and B, how did you proceed? Well, and what were the credentials needed on some of the stuff you're doing with the government? Some of the credentials are for set-asides, like 8A, HUB-Zone, Woman-Owned. I have all those certifications. Okay. So basically, you just find an opportunity where you feel as though you can provide the services, and you try to create relationships and strategic alliances with different companies, and you just go after it. Did you look at, you said find opportunities. Was that through a newspaper, a meeting you went to? What, something you found on the internet? How did you find out about those jobs? Well, the main website for federal government contracting is FedBizOps. FedBizOps. FedBizOps, FBO.gov. And that's where you go? Yes, that's the first place you go. You have to make sure you create relationships with the federal government. Okay, and that's what you've done? Yes. Now, how did you find your staff? Because people always talk about, we don't have qualified folk here. You've got to be qualified to do what you're doing, A. And when you win a contract, the people you hire have to be qualified. How did you find those folks? Well, I already have relationships with a lot of people in the industry, because that's where I was. So I provide their resumes. When I'm bidding on work, they allow me to provide their resumes. And you have the monster.com, you have clearjobs.com. You still have those different websites where you can pull resumes. How do you bid out the jobs? I mean, how do you know, I'm going to bid XYZ. How do you know that XYZ will be enough to do what you need to do? For instance, let's say that they're letting a job for so many thousand, and you go after it.
you've got to bid that job out, correct?
That's right.
So how do you know how to bid it out without losing money?
Well, you definitely have to know your overhead, how much it costs for health insurance and all those benefits, and your G&A. So once you have that determined, you know what it takes to bid something out. And then you look at the different opportunity or those labor categories and determine how much average they pay in the area where the job is.
And when you do that and you submit it, then has there been any errors that you've encountered or any positive things that you've encountered by this process?
Not yet.
Oh, good. You're smart businesswoman.
Not
How did you learn how to
yet.
go into business for yourself, though? That's not something you learn on your own. I mean,
A lot of error.
really?
A lot of errors.
Like
Yes,
what?
You just
I mean,
make mistakes.
You make mistakes in what?
Well,
Budgeting or?
Well, so far, we've been successful on every project. We haven't had any late deliverables, no cost
Great.
overruns.
That's great.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And you're the one that set the tone and the pace for the time, the employees, the deliverables. That's all you.
The project manager generally does it, but
Okay.
I'm overseeing and making sure everything goes smoothly.
Okay. Oh, great. So you are doing business with some major folk, heavy hitters. How? I can't, I guess you probably wonder, why does she keep asking me that? It's only because I know that people are trying to do what you're doing. How did you do it? You
Well,
networked. What?
I did network. However, I have proven past performance. I
There
have
you go.
proven experience. We were awarded the 2010 and 2011 Top Hub Zone USDA Contractor of the Year, as well as SBA's Small Business Person of the Year for the Louisiana state.
Wow. How many staff members do you have?
I have a few people. It depends on what project we're on. I'm a small business, so I don't have a bench.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Okay. And this is a storefront business or home base? You started off storefront, home base, what?
I started off home base.
Like most smart people do.
That's right.
Yes, don't incur all those bills.
Keep your overhead down as low as possible.
Okay.
However, now I'm at JETCO. It's an incubator for small businesses in Jefferson Parish.
You know, a lot of people don't know about incubators, and I tell them all the time, you should try an incubator because the incubator does lower the cost. It's everything that
That's
you need
right.
in the office to operate an office at a fraction of the price.
That's right.
And you have all the, you have conference room, working room area, but it's at, it's
That's
the way to
right.
start
at
a business.
That reduced price. And
Exactly.
they give you assistance as well.
Wow. It's been beneficial to you, right?
Oh, yes.
And there's a lot of incubators that's popping up all over the place, trying to encourage people that have been doing business from the home to go on non-home bases, but yet not quite storefront, but people are seeing your wares displayed and walking in.
Right. You need to move away from being home-based because it just gives you a sense of, if you come to my house, you may not think I know what I'm doing. It just makes you look better in the eyes of your clients.
Well, it adds that level of professionalism.
Right.
When you have a commercial address,
That's right.
you've got conference room, fax machines, phones, everything going on at an incubator. Yeah, I like those. So
That's right.
how long have you been in business?
Since 2000.
Okay.
February of 2000.
Wow, and you've been rolling on your own since then.
On my own. For a while, I was an employee at the same time while I was trying to grow my business.
Okay.
But for some years now, I'm only growing my business, and that's it.
And you find out about most of your jobs that you're letting different places, different media, avenues, attending meetings. Do you ever go up to a contractor that's got a huge contract? They've been let and awarded a huge contract. Right. Have you ever gone up to them, introduce yourself, and say, "Hey, look, I'm Joaneane Smith, and I have this type of company, and I would like to be a sub." Have you ever done that?
I do it all the time.
Really?
I do it all the time.
What has been the outcome of it?
It's starting to work now. My name is getting out there, and things are happening. I try to get to D.C., the D.C. area, once a month. So I'm up there because federal government contracting, you need to have a presence in D.C. So
why?
Because that's where most of the contracts are coming out for
Really?
the federal government. Yes.
So you go up there once a month, and where do you go? You don't just hang out on the street, right? There's someplace you got to go.
No, I target just a few agencies and
Like what?
USDA.
Oh,
that's
okay.
where most of my business
so you go to
is.
that's
USDA.
where, okay. So you go to Washington, you go to USDA in Washington.
Mm-hmm. As well as the Navy and the Army. Now I visit large contractors as well because they're bidding on those large, full and open contracts.
That we talked about,
so
right.
I'm introducing my company to them, letting them know what we've done and our capabilities.
Oh, great. And then you go to D.C. once a month.
Right.
To see where it begins. And that's where you find out what jobs are being let for Louisiana or New Orleans and what your company can do. Are you looking at doing anything internationally?
I have not started that yet.
Is it possible in your line of business?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Let's give the audience a little sort of, I don't know, some information on actually what you particularly do. You're in IT. You provide services to the federal government, obviously.
That's right. That's right.
Doing what?
We provide software engineering, systems engineering and integration, project and program management, as well as cybersecurity. We're moving more towards cybersecurity now.
Why cybersecurity?
Well, that's the latest and greatest what's coming out. That there's a problem with the federal government as well. They lack security people. So now they're trying to get these certifications together. They're putting out these certifications that's geared towards security, but focused on the federal government.
Okay. Wow. And you're sort of stepping into that arena.
Yes.
To give them, because this is a demand, and you are providing services based on a demand.
That's right.
All right. How do you go about doing that? I mean, you know what I mean? Because if they've got, so is it going to be awarded in sort of contract form for you to go after?
Some will be,
okay.
But there's certifications that's coming out for contractors,
yes,
as well as the employees.
Okay.
So I want to assist them and their employees with their knowledge of cybersecurity, and then I can provide employees as well to assist them on a contract basis.
You're a powerful lady. You know where you're going. You know what you're doing. What's next for you? You said cybersecurity. Got to be something next. I mean, young, gorgeous woman. Something's got to be next on the bucket list.
Well, more you should be seeing more strategic alliances.
Okay.
A company, ISIS, for instance, Benjamin Wells. I believe you had him on your previous show.
Yes, I have.
We're working with him now, as well as strategic planning, Charlotte Burnell.
So you're partnering with other companies.
Yes.
So that's your what next?
That's my what next. Creating more strategic alliances.
And you guys get out and you bid on bigger contracts than the one that you've been able to land.
Yes, when you bid together, there's power in numbers.
So you guys only bidding on stuff that's IT related, or are you bidding on stuff that's like global? Okay, if ISIS is in one area of the market,
right,
you'll be then in this area of the market. Strategic planning is that area of market. You guys are partnering.
That's right.
Right? And you're going after bigger contracts.
That's right. That's right. And that's how you do it. You create, you know, it's not a good idea a lot of the time to go after these contracts alone.
Why?
You should, because you can't do everything. You can't do everything. And being a small business,
right,
a small business, it's a good idea to align yourself with other companies. So.
Oh, and you know what? The good thing about it, and I'm glad you said that, to align yourself with other companies, because you can use their years of experience, you know, as part of your collaboration of companies coming together.
That's right.
Their years of experience will benefit you with the contract if they have a certain expertise.
Right.
And then your expertise come in and adds value with years of experience to that contract.
That's all about teaming. Yes.
Okay, teaming. Wow. I'm assuming that you network a lot.
I network a lot.
How do you network?
I go to different meetings, I attend conferences, I visit the agencies, I try to get in and talk to the people who make the decisions. Okay.
You just go up and introduce.
I do.
You have to in this business, right?
You can't be scared. I do. You cannot be afraid.
Okay, and you're passing out business. A lot of people talk about how they got started. Oh, I can't start this job because of the startup costs. How did you handle that?
Well, if you're working out of your home initially, there's really not a lot of startup costs because you're over